you view it as a dirty tap. When you switch a dirty tap on, it's going to flow shit water out for a substantial amount of time, and then clean water is going to start flowing, and now and then you'll get a bit of shit, but as long as it gets out of you, it's fine.
This is so random and off the cuff, but I quite literally saw a video of Ed Sheeran talking about something similar when I was like 13, and it very much changed my life. I do not know who needs to hear this, but it's okay to be seen while you're growing, while you are in progress. And that means, yes, while you're still afraid about how others are going to perceive you, or you're still worried that you're not good enough, or you're still worried that you're not the artist that you'd like to be, blah, 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 blah. I recently saw this TikTok about accepting that you are never going to sound like your references, which sounds super harsh. But you know why you're not? Because you're not them. But that doesn't mean that you're not worth hearing now, and that doesn't mean that you won't be worth hearing later.
This might be hard to hear, but your talent is never going to catch up to your taste. It's not supposed to. As we practice, the gap between our talent and our taste lessens, but our taste is inherently aspirational, so it keeps evolving with us. So stop hiding your work until it looks like your heroes, because a bunch of us are trying to enjoy it while it still looks like you.
And honestly, it takes the pressure off a little bit, right? Like, we can strive for these amazing things that we love, but the inevitable cycle of an artist of any medium, really, in my experience, is shooting for the stars and getting 80% of the way there. When you get 80% of the way there and you feel like, I don't know what else I could do, I feel great about this, but maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or it morphed into something different. This is the time where you pick it up, you put it out, you cut your losses, and you get excited about making the next thing and chasing the next wonderful whatever you want to put out in the world. This is not the time where you get super frustrated and shameful at yourself for not magically being another person or having another perspective, or, you know, whatever resource that you didn't have to make something. Finding the time out of your busy life to try and create a thing that encapsulates the pain or the joy or whatever of the human experience is an amazing battle on its own. And that, my friend, is something very much to be proud of. Now, why am I talking about Ed Sheeran? If you don't know, Ed Sheeran purposely did not scrub the first EP he made when he was like 13 off of the internet. I believe it was called The Orange Room, and this is a snippet from it. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you have to, you know, I haven't really kept up with Ed's music or anything, but you can certainly respect, whether you listen to him or not, that he has improved by tenfold and created an empire and continues to make great tunes today. But as an artist, it's so great to know that and also see where he started.
It literally came from writing a song a day or 2 songs a day or 5 songs a day and just getting all these songs out of me, doing a million gigs, sometimes 3 gigs a day. Sometimes we did 6 gigs a day one year at Glastonbury. But I think you view it as a dirty tap. When you switch a dirty tap on, it's going to flow shit water out for a substantial amount of time, and then clean water is going to start flowing, and now and then you'll get a bit of shit, but as long as it gets out of you, it's fine. So with songs, you're going to write shit songs at the beginning. My songs were terrible. My raps were terrible. Like, I've listened to it the other day, it's awful. But I got it out of me, and the more and more you write, the more and more you experience, and then you start flowing clean water, and songs start getting better and better and better. And when you're on a good streak, you're writing good songs, now and then you're going to write a shit song, and that song is out of you, and you can move on.
He had a quote something about making art is kind of like turning on a faucet with well water or something, where you got the brown water has to run its course, right, before you start getting to a clearer stream. And for whatever reason, that was very helpful. I think a lot of times popular wisdom is quality over quantity, but there's a huge misconception because quantity begets quality, right? So even if you don't end up publishing things or putting things out there, you should just make things, because that's what's going to get you closer to whatever this idealized vision of what you want to create. I have taken some down. I will probably continue to take some down when the shame is overwhelming, but I try as much as possible to keep up my embarrassing old videos because they're a reminder of my growth. I'm not perfect. I'm still trying to improve and learn every day. And if people can't see that I'm striving for that, then that's okay. It's very normalized for artists and brands. And hey, yeah, maybe I'm naive and I'll have to do this one day. But it's very normalized for people to have to wipe their digital footprint clean, right? You're supposed to look like an overnight success. And oftentimes it works. We think a lot of the people, many of the artists that I've talked about in depth are overnight successes. But the truth is they're not. Everyone starts out kind of wonky. The best way to start is by starting, and the worst way to make is by not making anything at all. And at the end of the day, like, remember, no one actually cares. Even if they're mean or nasty, they probably only think about you for a split second. And also, I find it really helpful whenever I feel embarrassed or sheepish or whatever. We are just a speck in the universe, right? We all die. But it's okay. It's okay. The only downside to making something or putting something out there that, you know, maybe you're afraid you're going to get dinged on, or maybe you're afraid isn't perfect or whatever. The only downside is someone could say something nasty. But the upside is huge. You have the power to make something that connects with someone. You have the power to create something that builds community. That is so precious. I feel so silly sometimes making these silly little videos, right? I do not have the biggest channel. I do not have well-known art or anything like that. And yet, my silly little yapping mouth has allowed me to connect with, even on a small level, some of the people who I respect the most artistically. Just keep going. Keep going. It's okay to feel embarrassed. We all feel embarrassed. I still feel embarrassed. One time I did one of those dance classes where they teach you choreography and you can record yourself, right? And let me tell you, there's nothing more humbling than learning choreography over the course of an hour and then watching someone who's not a trained dancer try and dance it. What I'm saying is I was not very good. I'm still not very good. That is something that I would like to get better at. But the point is that when I watched myself doing this foolish dance, at first I was like, oh my gosh, how cringe. I should never dance again. And then I stopped for a second, and for whatever reason, it reminded me of like watching, you know, like your little brother or little sister or someone close in your life getting to experience dance class for the first time, and you're just so proud that they're there and they're having a good time and they're trying. And for whatever reason, that was very helpful for me. Trying is remarkable. When in doubt, focus on what you're making, because the output is not the reward. The making is the reward. And you know what's going to make you better at making things in your own eyes? Making more things. So yeah, keep going. Thanks, Ed Sheeran. Okay, bye.